I want to take a quick moment and share with you how to fix mistakes on your mountain, which is going to enhance the appearance and look of it. I accidentally dropped in a straight line on my mountain, which is a big no-no because nature doesn't grow in straight lines. Thus, you should avoid it when you can. So join me here up at the canvas and I'm going to share with you how to fix this mistake that's really going to enhance the appearance of your mountain and make it look more natural. So as you can see at the top of my mountain, I accidentally dropped in a straight line, which is a big no-no because it makes it too symmetrical on the left and right, making it kind of unpleasing or at least very noticeable to the eye, which is what I don't want. So all I'm gonna do is break up this straight line with a little bit of paint on the edge of my knife and add in a jagged edge. So that way it makes it look more natural, as well as dump a little bit of highlight on top of my mountain peak that goes onto the other side and maybe add a dash or two over here. However, I'm not gonna overdo it because I love the colors of my shadows. Now this is oil paint that has been sitting on here for about 24 to 48 hours, so it's still wet, but it's slightly tacky, which is gonna help us a lot when we apply this on here. But again, don't overdo it, so I want you to have an extremely light touch with your palette knife. Now, let's attack it. So as you can see here, I actually don't have too much paint on the edge of my knife. I hope that shows up for you. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of detail as I come up here. So I'm first gonna start by just touching my canvas, so I kinda have the ability to grab on there and just start to slightly jiggle and come down. If nothing grabs, it's okay because I can come back and do it again. And I'm just kind of shaking and grabbing my hand and coming down and across. Now I can always go back on here and just push a little bit more because I got the paint to apply and break it down. And now I'm getting all these beautiful textures. And as you can see, I start to break up this little mountain a little bit more with a jagged edge in there. Gonna add just a tiny bit more down here. Again, gonna take my tiny roll of paint on here and let's come up, jag, 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 drop down and across. Let's pull this down in here. It's okay if it mixes with that blue. It's gonna look like beautiful little glistens in there. I just wanna pull this down and in a little bit. And now we've jagged up this edge a little bit. And all we have to do is put a little concentration of contrast on this side and pull it down. But first, let's drop in the other highlight snow parts here before we do that. Using the small edge of my knife here with a little bit of a thicker roll so it's easier on me. And I'm just gonna come up to the top and just lace them over and maybe just a tiny bit here as if the sunlight caught it. So just gonna come up here to the edge, jiggle, wiggle, pull down and across, and pull down in that way. And I'm gonna let that blue shine through, but now that just broke it up a tiny bit. Let's drop in maybe a little baby shelf right here. Gonna probably reload my knife just a tiny bit. A little bit fades off down and across. Just like that, just to break it up a tiny bit. Again, I don't want much. Now I'm gonna take my shadow color, which is marbly mixed here, and just add a little few things to catch in here to add to the contrast of what we just dropped in. Now this is a little bit brighter here because I feel like this sits on top and a little bit behind certain spots, but it'll play off the catching of all these different little spots perfectly. Just gonna add a tiny bit right here with some darker blue on it, which is my phthalo blue, just in case you're wondering, just to give it a little bit of distinctability. Not sure if that's a real word. We'll find out in the editing. And a little tiny dark at the top here. As you can see here, with just a few simple additions and a little bit of a shaky hand, you can fix any of your mistakes when it's oil paint and really enhance that natural mountain look. Now, if you want to know how we even did the sky, clouds, or mountains, the good news is I've got a ton of videos that you can catch over to my side. And if you're a brand new painter wanting to get into oil painting, you can check out my downloadable PDF, which I'll put down in the video description. I'll check you all later, and I hope you become a mountain master. Peace.